Oh, a microphony.
And a phony at the mic.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
The Doctor of Discernment is now online.
You know, much like my show, in that it's a local reaction to things that are happening on a federal level.
Dispensing a daily dose of common sense. No prescription required.
Wow, do I have a boatload of stuff for you, from the crazy to the absurd. Let's start getting into it because, I mean, it is bizarro world out there. And I say, if it's obvious to me, should be obvious to everybody. Oh, wow. Who could have seen this coming?
This is the Fourth Hour with Greg Belfrage.
Hold on to your butts.
Broadcasting from the basement bunker beneath Keller Radio. Welcome, my friend, to the Fourth Hour. It's great to have you along this morning. So I was running a little bit behind on time. My producer, Alicia, and I were visiting and taking care of some things that were happening up there this morning. So I was running a little bit behind, and I started looking at the New York Post, which I do every day. Multiple times throughout the day, I'm on the New York Post. So I thought, well, let's walk through the headlines this morning at the New York Post, because there's a lot of fascinating stuff that's going on here. The Columbia protester, and I won't dive into all of these stories, but just the headlines alone, I want to make you aware of things. I kind of feel like that's a big part of my job, is just to make sure you're aware of things. And then if you want to go out, you want to discover more, and you want to learn more, then that's up to you. It's your decision. So this Columbia protester had a direct link to Hamas and one of their militant groups. According to the Department of Justice, his cell phone was littered with pro-Hamas and pro-Hezbollah propaganda, according to prosecutors. Crazy. There's a lot of crazy stuff that's out there. Here we go. Bill Belichick and his girlfriend. Seriously, when are we going to get over this? So now we got a general manager deeply concerned. But Bill Belichick and his 24-year-old girlfriend. The day that I'm deeply, I understand he's looking for a job, so on. I get that, but really, I mean, I just think we got better things to worry about. I agree with Michael Goodwin. He's usually on target. Colorado attack proves America needs some common sense on immigration. Stop importing terrorism. No kidding. Speaking of the guy in Boulder, Colorado, wait, there's another story coming up. I didn't realize this. We've all seen the photos of him without a shirt on. You know why he had no shirt on? He set it on fire. He accidentally set himself on fire. And there's that video now is out there. So we'll get to that here in just a moment. A few sports stories. Chinese seller on Amazon sold defective tools linked to deaths. Life-changing inquiries. Chinese seller on Amazon. Yeah, be careful. I shared this story on the air this morning. I just think it is worth revisiting. This is that Burger King employee I've talked about in the last several days on the show. He showed up to work a shift at Burger King. He was not scheduled to work, but they needed help. And he had just literally had graduated from high school and walked across the stage. And so he's still dressed nice. And he learns that they need help at Burger King. He goes in to help. And he's there working, and there were photos of him. And so now the Burger King Foundation, after hearing about this and after it went viral, they gifted him $10,000. There he is with the check. Pretty incredible. So he was this time dressed in his proper Burger King uniform. And that's pretty, I thought that was incredible. Now, remember that there had been a GoFundMe that had been started for him, and quite a significant amount of money. There he is working after his high school graduation. He's working through the drive-thru. He's got gloves on there, but you still see he's still got a stole around his neck. There he is. I just love this story. Anyway, there was a GoFundMe that was started for him. Take a look at that. At this point, it has earned almost $200,000 as of early this morning. Nearly $200,000. And then you have Burger King then also pitching in an additional dollars. That is just absolutely incredible. That's just a great feel-good story this morning. Okay, Donald Trump is pushing the chair of the Fed, the chair of the Fed. Jerome Powell wants him to slash rates. I was viewing this on Trump's True Social account, where Trump was saying, what did he say on True Social? He's saying, too late, Powell must lower the rate. He's unbelievable. Europe has lowered 9 times, Trump says. So, and then he gets into a lot of details here, but he's saying the ADP number's out. Too late, Powell must now lower the rate. Trump has been putting a lot of heat on him. But again, there is a lot of difference. You look at what's going on at Europe, and they're lowering their rate, and the United States refuses to lower the rate. And you can't help but wonder if some of that is just, because of Trump, that people just to spite Trump. I can't help but believe this. Here's a video I was talking about earlier. You can see it here. This is this guy in Boulder, Colorado. See that? He's throwing a Molotov cocktail. As he throws it, boom, sets himself on fire. Wow. Wow. So this is a new video that's out there. You'll see this one also at the New York Post. No need, I think, to delve too much beyond that. But, okay, let's take a look at this. I was watching this video a little bit ago. The crazy plane lady who had gone viral after a rant on a flight. So she is now the safe for work lady, according to the New York Post. Let's get some audio here and let you watch her video.
Gomez, probably better known as the crazy plane lady, which is completely warranted. As you know, I have been unwilling to speak on the viral video, but I do finally feel that it's time.
I think
First
it was
foremost,
way past due.
I want to take full accountability for my actions. They were completely unacceptable. Distressed or not, I should have been in control of my emotions, and
agreed.
That was not the case. My use of profanity was completely unnecessary. And I want to apologize to everyone on that plane, especially those that had children aboard.
Okay, now that's a nice start.
And imagine going through that and trying to explain to your kid what in the world just happened.
Now, seriously, it took it took her that long to come to that realization. I think some of us would have had that realization in the moment. It wouldn't take weeks. It wouldn't, we wouldn't need a video to go viral before we would come to that realization. It's like, oh man, I'm overreacting. I gotta, this stuff just cracks me up, man. This is so bogus.
Bad moments, some far worse than others. And mine happened to be caught on camera for the whole world to see multiple times. Sorry, trying not to sound like Minnie Mouse.
Let's
Well,
go.
it has been really comical for everyone, and I have highly enjoyed so many of the memes. On the flip side, it is
Okay, that's enough. I think that it's most of it's over. You remember her? So she was out there. She was angry. That's her in that viral video, and now she's had a change of hearts. She understands now that it's gone viral. It's all over the place, and now she's moving it, launching a new career. And oh, please, of course. So you go out there, you become viral in the most embarrassing, humiliating way. So much so you got to go out there and apologize for it. And oh, by the way, I'm launching a new career. It's just such a sham. Just so phony. So much of this stuff. Okay, let's see what else is going on. I love talking about Alan Dershowitz. Alan Dershowitz is a very famous attorney from Harvard Law, and he now is out with a new book. He's calling it his magnum opus. And you see I maybe should have, this is a couple of minutes long. Let's walk through the video here. This is Alan Dershowitz. Or not. There's the audio.
Yeah, so that
So
actually.
you feel you're part of history when you do this kind of thing. Develop the concept among academics of prevention, and that's what I've been working
And you
on.
coined the term preventative
Preventative
state.
state, and I
Preventative
taught a
State
course
is his new book.
called the Prediction and Prevention of Violence for 30 or so years, and I did a lot of the original research on how good we are at predicting, how many mistakes we make. And so finally, after all
I
these
haven't
years at
watched this.
86,
My
I
apologies.
decided to put it all together into one book. And this is the book.
He's going in for some pictures.
They relate to things as varied as deportation. Why do we deport people? To prevent them from committing crimes. Why are we thinking about bombing Iran? To prevent them from developing a nuclear weapon. Why did we require people to wear masks and be inoculated during COVID? To prevent it from spreading. Since I
And you already get an idea. I mean, Alan Dershowitz, one of the things I absolutely respect him and love about him, he's been on the show a couple of times. I feel very, very fortunate to be able to interview him and have conversations with him. He's an incredibly thoughtful guy. We disagree on a ton of stuff, but on everything I think that matters, he's on the right side. He is on the right side. He has said many times he's a classic liberal, traditional liberal in the old school sense of liberalism, not the craziness that we see throughout the country today. So he's written this new book, The Preventative State, the challenge of preventing serious harms while preserving essential liberties. And that's the Alan Dershowitz that I love. I think he's got a lot to say. So this is apparently coming out. And so this was an exclusive interview that he did with the Post. And that's the theme of his book. He said, there's no free lunch. Every time we act to prevent great harms, we take away a little liberty. There's no doubt about that. There's always going to be a trade-off. And the key is to make the trade-off based on principles. And it's okay, as I say in the book, to give up a little inessential liberty to gain a lot of security, but not to give up basic liberties to gain a small amount of security. He said, we do too much of the latter and not enough of the former. But I found that interesting. Again, I'm just fascinated by Alan Dershowitz. So that caught my eye. Cuomo. Now, New York Post, a lot of these stories obviously are written for New Yorkers. So maybe that was all I had. That might have been all I had on the New York Post today. Oh, this is crazy. These two Chinese people who were coming into the country with this potential agro-terrorism weapon. Kash Patel was talking more about this. I saw on Fox News Channel this morning as I was on the air. This sounds like it was pretty serious. Pretty serious what was going on. So they will face conspiracy, smuggling, false statements, visa fraud charges. This was announced yesterday. They are, one of them, a loyal member of the Chinese Communist Party who were engaged in this. Wow. That's really something. I suspect we'll be learning more about that. Okay, these are the headlines catch my eye. Dad has police called on him after neighbor mistakes him for a homeless man stealing a baby. I need to work on my appearance. So this is a guy who was out for a walk, 33 years old, apparently wearing some rundown clothes. Your neighbor calls the cops, reporting he's a homeless man with a stolen baby. So she called police. I don't know that I would have done that. Again, I try to put myself in the shoes of people as I look at these stories. But you see what I mean? There's just a lot of fascinating news at the New York Post. This is why it is my first stop every morning. As I am out there and I'm looking at stories, I want to see what's going on at the New York Post, because I really believe that the reporting that they do. Remember the Hunter Biden laptop? That was the New York Post that was responsible for all of that. And a lot of significant stories have their beginning at the New York Post. Oregon track star who refused to share the podium with the trans athlete reveals the conversation with officials. I think I mentioned this on the air yesterday, that and this is a little bit shocking. So they wouldn't get on the podium. These two right here, they refused to get on the podium. And so officials told them, get out of the way. If you're not going to stand on the podium, get out of the way. Wow, that's kind of crazy, man. Just absolutely incredible. Yeah, I don't know that there's a lot of it. A lot of stuff on the New York Post, a lot of it. There's some interesting lifestyle stuff. You start getting into entertainment. I begin to get quite lost. I'm just not a big one for entertainment these days. This I found interesting. This caught my eye this morning. Mia Sara making her first red carpet appearance in over 10 years. You know her from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and there she is. She looks fantastic. So she attended the Life of Chuck premiere in Los Angeles. There she is from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. No, we'll leave that there. A lot of great stories at the New York Post. I'm on there pretty regularly. And again, it's just, for me, it's one of those, it's one of the websites that I must visit. And there are a number of them that I do each day. Easily a half a dozen that I would say must, and then another half a dozen that would be in that second tier. Some of them legacy media kind of outlets, trying to find out what's really going on and what's really going on and what's worth discussing and what is worth sharing. There was one other thing. I also go to the I go to whitehouse.gov each day, and the president right now has got the 50 reasons why the one big, beautiful bill is the best chance in a generation to pass these reforms, delivering the largest tax cut in American history, making the Trump tax cuts permanent, raising your take-home pay by as much as $13,300, wages as well, reversing the spending curse, they're saying, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, tax cuts for seniors, finishes the border wall, boosts border patrol and ICE agents. And you see what I mean? As we were talking about this on the air this morning, the big, beautiful bill, Elon Musk, Elon, okay, cool it, man. We hear you. We got it. Look at all of the things that it does. And this, how do you say, no, we got to scrap all the, look at all of these things that it does. Could we, for once in our lives, take the friggin' win? I mean, please. Could the Republican Party, for once in its life, take the win and just be happy? I would be very, very content. I would just sleep easy if that were the case. All right, my friend, that is a wrap from the bunker this morning. You have made it to the end of the video, so you are part of my gallery of champions. Thank you so much. Special salute to the Bunker Brigade. Those of you like Robert and Denise and David and Steve Areno's here. My thanks to all of you. Very much appreciated. We'll leave it there for today. I'll see you again tomorrow. Until then, I'm underground and